Hello! What I'm going to show you today is how to plant spring onions. Now, it's always a good idea to plant your carrots and your anything from the onion family, so garlic, spring onions, leeks, normal onions, next to each other, next to the carrots, because the carrots, they actually protect each other. So the carrot fly that attack the carrots don't like the smell of anything from the onion family, and the onion fly that attack all of the garlic and the leeks and stuff don't like the smell of carrots. So they are companion planting, which means that they work very well together. So I've got 3 rows of carrots here, and I thought that right next to them I would plant 1 row of spring onions. I do have a little bit of space here as well, so I think I might leave this area here so that when I do plant out my bigger onions, I will put them in this area, so I'll have a lot of my onions together. Now, there are lots of different varieties of spring onions that you can find. Most of them are white, but there is a variety that is sort of pinky purpley, which is really nice, which I've grown before. But in my packet here, I've actually got 3 different varieties, because I was going through my seed box and I was thinking, no, there's spring onions, and there's spring onions, and oh, there's spring onions too. So I've put them all in together. The actual ones from here are called Guardsman, which I obviously I haven't grown before, because the packet is, the packet has been opened. But I usually grow White Lisbon. They're usually quite a popular one. So I'm going to sow just some of these. Which variety, I don't know. I might grow these ones. I don't know what variety they are. I think they most probably are White Lisbon. And I will sow some now. Spring onions can be sown and planted from sort of late February, some varieties, all the way through to sort of June, July-ish time. Actually, these ones can be September, so it just depends on the variety. So just check the packet and it will tell you when you can plant them. They need to be planted directly outside in the soil. So now at the end of March, now is a perfect time to start planting them. So let me show you how I plant mine. So what I have done here is I've just turned over the soil. I've just made sure that I've removed any any weeds that shouldn't be there, and if you come across any large stones, then take those out as well. So what I'm going to do before I sow these seeds is I'm just going to water this trough. I've made this trough just by using my trowel and just scooping out some of the soil. It's only about 3/4 of an inch deep, I suppose, which is about, I don't know, 1 centimetre and a bit. Yes, okay. I've got a little watcher here. So what I'm going to do, the soil is a little bit moist, or damp I think is the word, but what I will do before I sow the seeds is I will just water in the trough, just like this, all the way along. There we go. Now this watering in here helps the seeds in 2 ways. It will actually stick the seeds onto the seeds will stick onto the damp compost when you first put them on, and also because they are immediately touching some water, they will start to germinate a little bit quicker. Now make sure that the water has disappeared before you start planting your seeds, and all spring onion seeds look very, very similar. In fact, they look the same as onion seeds and leek seeds. They're little black sort of seeds like this. They're not circular, they're sort of a little bit sharp and pointy like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few in my hand. Now spring onions can be fairly close to each other. You don't have to sort of go, there's one there, and then sort of 1/2 inch across, then I'll do another one. Just take a pinch of seeds between your thumb and your finger, and just move your thumb and your finger backwards and forwards, and the seeds will drop out. You want them in little clusters. They seem to do better when they're in little clusters like this. So I will sprinkle the seeds all the way along, except I haven't got enough in my hand to finish, but I will carry on doing the other one in the rest of the row in a minute. When you've got your seeds there, all you need to do is to gently cover them over with the soil that you moved out of the way. And if again you find any large stones or anything like that, then just move them out of the way, just get rid of them. So I will carry on and with sowing the seeds for the rest of the line, and when I have finished, then I will come back to you. Right, well, I have finished sowing seeds on that entire line. I've covered them up with a little bit of soil. Now I will keep an eye on those, and I'll most probably water them from the top in about 2 or 3 days. It just depends what the temperature's like. If you're unsure if your soil needs watering, just pop your finger in to sort of your first knuckle, and if it feels damp, then it's fine. But if it feels dry, if the soil feels dry on your finger, then it needs to water. That's usually a good test, because that's roughly how deep the seeds are. So I have done just one row. If you want to do more than one row, I would suggest doing 6 inches between each row. They don't need a huge amount of space to spread, but what you do need the space in between is to get down and weed in between them. They're actually brilliant for if you're very short on space and you want to grow them, say in a pot on a patio or a trough. They're great because they don't go down too far. The roots will go down sort of across, but it's not like a root vegetable. They don't have to have the depth. If you want to grow them in a trough, I would suggest you have a trough that's about 6 to 8 inches deep, and then they'll be absolutely fine, and just sow them in exactly the same way. But I've just done one row because I think one row for us is most probably going to be enough. Hopefully they'll start to germinate in about 2 or 3 weeks time, but I will keep an eye on them, and when I see them coming up, then I will take a photo and I will tweet it, and then you can see what they should look like, because they look very, very similar to grass that comes up. So don't get that wrong. Don't go, oh, that's grass, and pull it up and then it's a spring onion. So you don't want to do that. So you just have to be very careful and just make sure that it is grass and it's not a spring onion. But hopefully I shouldn't get many weeds in here. If I do find that we eat these really, really quickly, and I may well need to plant another row. But as I say, you can plant these all the way through, some varieties through until September. So it's not like you've got to plant them all now and then you can't plant anymore. It's something you can do in succession. Well, I hope you are growing some spring onions this year. They really are very easy, and they're a great little thing to grow, and you can really grow them anywhere. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.